Hello everyone. Today we have a banknote money collection. Came from Bermuda. This is a $2 Bermudian dollar. The Royal Gazette on May 15, 2010. The $2 Bermudian dollar has been named the 2010 banknote of the year. So this design is very cool, a special one, and was held by the International Banknote Society, the IBNS. Security features, remarks on by the judges includes various watermarks. Yes, there is a lot of watermarks on this banknote. Here also there's a lot of watermarks. An embedded metallic thread. We have here the metallic thread. It is a half-inch metallic thread, as you can see here. Transparent, but it is also a metallic. And a special picture portraying a compass fluorescent, the circle one, and in two colors, UV light. The bill was chosen for its attractiveness and its interesting array of security features. The design, the $2 note, shows Bermuda Bluebird. This is a Bermuda Bluebird. And on the front of the Dockyard here, this is the Dockyard, and also there is a compass here, compass also here. A Clocktower, this is the Clocktower, and a statue of Neptune. This is Neptune holding its spear. And it is a Bermudian flora here, the flower here, the Bermudian flora, and fauna also places here. This is the Saint Marcia Woolridge-Allwood. The value of one Bermuda dollar to US dollar is 1:1. The Bermudian dollar, informally called the Bermuda dollar, is the official currency of the British Overseas Territory of Bermuda. It is subdivided into 100 cents, so there is a division in this dollar. The Bermudian dollar is not normally traded outside Bermuda, so basically you cannot use this outside Bermuda. And it's pegged to the United States dollar on a 1-to-1 ratio. So $1 is one Bermudian dollar. So this one is the value is $2. The both currencies are circulate in Bermuda on an actual basis. The history of this is for nearly 400 years. As we know, Spanish occupation is everywhere outside Europe and outside Spain. This is known as the Spanish dollar is the pieces of 8, where in widespread use of the world's trading routes, including the Caribbean region and also in the Indo-Pacific and South Pacific, in Caracas, in Moluccas, and on Indonesia. However, following the revolutionary wars in Latin America, the sources of the silver trade coins dried up. The United Kingdom had adopted very successful gold standard in 1821, and so the year 1825, the opportunity time to introduce the British sterling coinage into all British colonies. The sterling coins, the British colonies is so many. Also Canada is also a British colony, Australia, and an imperial order in council was passed in 1825 for the purpose of facilitating the aim of making sterling coinage legal tender in colonies. The specified rate of 1 Spanish dollar to 4 shillings. So 4 shilling is equals to 1 Spanish dollar and 4 pence sterling. As the sterling silver coins were attached to the gold standard, the exchange rate did not represent the value of the silver in Spanish dollars as compared to the value of the gold and British gold sovereign. Because of this, the conversion had the opposite effect in many colonies, and the actual drove sterling coinage out of circulation, so meaning the sterling has become unaffected. The remedial legislation had to be introduced in 1838 after 13 years, so as to change over the more realistic ratio or rating of dollar into the 4S, the sterling 4S, and the 2D, $2. However, in Jamaica, British, Honduras, Bermuda, and later in Bahamas, also in the Caribbean, the official rating was set aside in favor of what was known as the macaroni tradition, in which British shilling, referred to as the macaroni, was treated as 1/4 of dollar. The common link between these four territories was the Bank of Nova Scotia, which brought in the macaroni tradition, resulting in the successful introduction of both sterling and coinage and sterling accounts. It wasn't, however, until January 1, 1842, 4 years later, the authorities in Bermuda formally decided to make sterling the official currency of the colony, to circulate in the doubloons 64 shillings at the rate of $1 is equals to 4S, 4 shillings 2D. Contrary to the expectations, and unlike in the Bahamas, where US dollar circulated with sterling, the Bermudas did not allow themselves to drawn into the US currency area. The Spanish dollar fell away in 1850s but returned again in the 1870s following the international silver crisis, which is silver coins and silver things that they've been used during that Spanish era. Some use it on making ballets during the wars, so it has been shortened, or it has a shortage. In 1874, the Bermudan merchants agreed unanimously to decline to accept the heavy imports of U.S. currency, except at a heavy discount, and it was exported again. And in 1876, legislation was passed to demonetize the silver dollars. So during that time, the US currency fell, and the Bermuda and the Caribbean did not accept the US silver coins, silver dollars, or so US currencies, because they fear for them returning in 1882. The Local Tender Act demonetized the gold doubloon, which had effect been the real standard in Bermuda, and this left the pounds, shillings, and the pences as the sole legal tender. So gold, silver was demonetized in Bermuda, and the only monetary way was the sterling pounds and the shillings as the only legal tender. The pound sterlings remained the official currency of Bermuda until 1970, though the government of Bermuda did issue its own pound banknotes just like this, with the US and Canadian coins regularly appearing in circulation in Bermuda. And the possibility of the devaluation of the pound sterlings, Bermuda was compelled to adopt its own decimal currency. On February 1970, Bermuda introduced a new decimal currency in the form of dollar, just like this. The Bermudian dollar circulated in conjunction with the new British decimal coinage a year before it was introduced in the United Kingdom. By adopting decimalization early, Bermuda was also able to place orders for the coinage from the Royal Mint before the Commonwealth countries seeking decimalized. The link between Bermudian dollar and the pound sterling was not broken until July 31, 1972, which allowed Bermuda to align to 1-to-1 exchange rate with the United States dollars. The decision for Bermuda to peg its dollar to the US dollar added convenience to the multitude of American tourists and businesses with whom Bermuda largely relied, just like tourism until now. Since 1972, Bermuda law has required that the local businesses charge prices in Bermudian dollars, which is paid in US dollars, must be accepted at the rate of 1:1. Only banks are legally allowed to exchange Bermudian dollars into US dollars or other currencies, and subject to 1% foreign currency purchase tax. Some banks also charge an exchange fee. So that's the history of this Bermudian dollar. As you can see, this is a very beautiful, collectible, well designed. That is why in 2010, the design of this Bermudian dollar was picked and was named the best design of the Gazette or the Royal Gazette on May 5, 2010. So this is the design. You can see we can use this upside or vertical, unlike the normal or mostly common bills or banknotes. We can hold it only on vertical, not horizontal like this, because it has a cool features, cool designs. We can see here the sailboats, the bird here, the sun, the orchids. This is the bluebird. Down here we can see the note. This note is legal tender issued under Bermuda Monetary Authority Act of 1969. It has a serial number vertically, horizontally, and also vertically, so you cannot make a copy easily of this, or this is here hard to falsify. We can hear the Clocktower Dockyard. This is the Clocktower Dockyard. You can see here the butterflies also, Neptune, church, and a compass here. The compass here, the same on the reverse. Okay, this is a money collector. Thank you for watching, and see you on our next video.